What's up guys, KingKlaun here today, and I'm going to be bringing you part 5 of my top 5 classes in Black Ops 3. This has been a fun series to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anywho, this part is going to cover the best class to get high score streaks and how to effectively use it, and destroy the enemy team. Without further ado, let's get into it. Since our aim is to get those high score streaks, we need a class that allows us to not only stay alive longer, but get kills consistently. So, we need to win all types of gunfights and use the map to our advantage. This is different to my stay alive class, because in this setup, we are strictly going for our score streaks and not necessarily going for our score streaks, if you're going to go that far to get them. So, to start off this build, we will first be using one of my favourites. So, to start off this build, we'll be taking the KN-44 assault rifle. Now this is perfect for players like me that like to rush, but this is also good to pick up enemies at longer ranges. This is because not only does this gun have a great time to kill, but it has a good damage at all ranges as well. For our attachments, we'll need something to help us outplay the enemy. So, for attachment 1, we'll be using Quick Draw. Because you run into enemies more in the enemy spawn, or enemies that are near to you as you are flanking around, Quick Draw allows you to aim much faster at the enemy, and this allows you to rush well, but still maintain your aim, which will help you stay alive and continue your streak. Because the KN-44 is an assault rifle, at those close ranges we need something that helps us compete with SMGs. So for our second attachment, we'll be using Stock, because this makes us able to strafe left to right faster in order to compete with the SMGs at those close ranges while we're aimed down sight. For our last attachment, we'll be using a perk that makes sure we are off the enemy radar while shooting, so we're not getting trapped by those enemies. And this will be the Suppressor, because it's so frustrating to get on a 9 kill streak and then get killed by a player that happened to see you on their minimap and snipe you across map. Yep, we've all been there. So I found that the Suppressor is most effective in taking out multiple hostiles without them knowing where you are, which also gives you time to reload, which is so important for going to high kill streaks, because you don't want to be caught while you're reloading. Now for our first perk, we'll be using Ghost. Now Ghost allows us to keep hidden from the enemy minimap while we're moving. However, the thing about Ghost is that if the enemy is not using UAV, it's pretty much pointless. But if you're on a streak and they happen to get one, it's so useful because it'll keep you hidden, so they won't be able to kill you. As I say, it's better safe than sorry, so I just use Ghost just in case. But if you're in a party and your team are shooting down the UAVs, I recommend running 6th instead. Next, for our second perk, we'll be using Fast Hands, because this makes sure we can pull up our gun fast if we run into those unexpected gunfights. For instance, if the enemy has a counter UV up. And this is just a good perk for rushing playstyle, and I recommend using it on all of your classes. Next, we'll be using Scavenger, because this allows us to use as many bullets as we need to get kills without worrying about running out of ammo and picking up someone else's Mickey Mouse gun setup. Because we're going on big streets, we do not want to pick up weapons off the floor, because no one wants to pick up that gun and no one uses with the ACOG, so I just like, no, what you doing? And Scavenger lets us do this. Finally, for our last perk, we'll be using something that also keeps us off the enemy radar while moving around the map, and that is Blast Suppressor. Now, this makes us not appear on the enemy minimap when we are boost jumping on walls or at buildings, and the sound of our exosuit is, I wouldn't say severely reduced, but it's reduced by more than half. So this will allow us to move more stealthy and catch enemies off guard, and it will keep us off the enemy radar, which is always a fantastic thing. Now, for this class I recommend using the Combat Focus Specialist, because this basically works like a better version of Hardline from Black Ops 2 and previous Call of Duty titles, because your score points towards your score streaks are doubled. So if you get a kill for 100 points, it's 200 points, and etc. This is only for a short duration, however. But to use this effectively, I make sure that I'm in the enemy spawn where I know that I'm going to run into more than 1 or 2 enemies. But if you have a hater up, this is also perfect, because you know exactly where the enemy is, so you can flip on your combat specialist, rack up them points. To use this class effectively, we need to know how to get the most kills by using our minimap to our advantage. The best way to achieve this that I have found is you want to be rushing and playing aggressive, but not to where you can get killed, flanked, or even rushed yourself. The best way I've found best way I found to achieve this is by moving from cover to cover. This is great because you'll be a hard target to hit because you're behind cover. This is where map awareness comes into play, because if you kill an opponent, 90% of people will come back for revenge kills. So to counter this, you should get one kill, then sprint to another piece of cover. This stops the enemy from using equipment to kill you, and in turn keeps you on your big score streak. Once you notice the enemies have stopped pushing you, what you want to do is start to flank. To do this effectively, you want to always take the long way around. You want to be going all the way around the map rather than rushing directly to a point. This allows you to kill the enemies that are rushing directly from their spawn and trying to get back into the action. These will be easy kills for you because you'll be hitting them from the side and from behind. Also, you have a suppressor, so they won't know where you are. They'll be none the wiser. You will notice that the enemy will eventually start to catch on. So when you feel that you're getting slightly overwhelmed, or you see that a lot of enemies attacking you at once, pretty much the same thing, you want to rotate back to your teammates slowly and methodically. You can achieve this by slowly moving back to your spawn by going cover to cover to ensure you don't get hit by the back. So when you notice teammates overwhelming you, when you notice your opponents overwhelming you, start to rotate back towards your teammates. If you find that you don't like pushing enemy spawns, what you can do, which is just effective, is to rotate around the building in the middle of the map, so you can move from building to building, picking off the enemies that are pushing your spawn. But you don't ever want to push their spawn. However, I have found that this works better at the start of the game rather than mid to late game, because both teams are trying to get to power positions. So if you're in the middle, just killing one guy to flank the next building, they'll be none the wiser. They'll think you're a different person because your team will be behind you. So this is effective if you don't want to rush the enemy spawn, or if you've capped 2 flags and you're not too sure that if you push, your teammates won't push and then flip the spawns. Something to avoid with this class will be challenging long range gunfights, because a lot of snipers will just snipe you and you'll get bested by a lot of long range weapons without a suppressor. Also, you want to be avoiding gunfights where the enemy has hit you first, because when they hit you first, I get into these bad habits as well. I always want to challenge them, you know, male pride, but 3 out of 5 times you will get killed before you can even turn the tables on the enemy. So on this class, you want to just avoid that entirely, because we want to stay on those long kill streaks. So we should only get into gunfights we know we can win. So only get into those unfair gunfights that are in your advantage. Alright, this class is effective in keeping you on those longer score streaks, and you'll find you'll be getting higher score streaks than you expected. So here's a look at the full class setup, just in case you guys missed anything. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. A like is always appreciated. This has been KingKlaun, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.